The issue of older clients is something that is near and dear to me because several years ago I started noticing the aging and the graying of my clients, and I wasn't sure if it was because I was aging and graying or if it had something to do with the trends in the population and the boomers, etc. Well, some of the cases that would come into my door had some of the following situations, and I want to throw these out to you and see if they ring a bell. You have a client come in, and she tells you that her husband just got back from his 40th high school reunion, and he's reunited with his high school sweetheart, and so he's ready for a divorce. Scene 2, you have a client walk in your door and say, I am going to turn 60 3 months from now. I want to be divorced, and that's a 60th birthday gift I'm giving myself. I cannot continue this marriage. Here's another scenario. I have cancer, it is in remission, and my life is too short to spend the rest of it in this marriage. I want out. The examples go on, and I think all of us see and have these folks who are, shall we call, older clients. And at different stages of my interest in this subject, I have thought, well, it's 55 on up, and then it's lowered to 50 on up. And some attorneys I've spoken with have talked about some of these very significant issues being relevant in their cases where their clients are in their later 40s. So there is no magic number of what makes you an older person or an older client. And the whole point of addressing this older client issue or scenario is because there are significant things that are happening in these older clients' lives that we need to be paying attention to. The most important characteristic of an older client or a gray divorce is one where there is reduced and compressed time post-divorce, whereas where the time for economic recovery after a divorce is severely reduced. Whether it is an anticipated shorter lifespan, or whether you've got a 75 or 80-year-old client in your office, these folks are not going to recover economically, much less maybe emotionally, from the divorce like their younger counterparts. Some of the issues that are screaming at them are health care and certainly stream of income. One of the major areas of significance in a graying divorce is the health of the individual who may be sitting in your office or who may be either on the other side of the collaborative law table or may be on the other side of the courtroom. The research is fascinating about how marriages can be bad for your health. In December of 2005, a new study came out of Ohio State that literally found that hostility, marital hostility, impaired healing. Fascinating how they did it, how they measured it. They took the couples, the married couples, observed them, and they had all kinds of ways of tracking hostility that was expressed between these two people in a laboratory circumstance. And they punctured, it was a very slight puncture, but they punctured their arms, measured the healing, and even though the hostility that was measured between them was relatively minor and very mild, the difference in the effect on the healing or lack thereof was seriously huge. There was a big difference. And other studies also have shown partly what we all know in our practice of how damaging troubled marriages are and how many of our clients seem to do much better after the divorce. But the problem is, or the point is that the idea that sometimes older clients get to in thinking, you know, my health is so important to me, I've got to get out of this situation, may really be based on fact. And another characteristic of the elder divorce is that frequently there are adult children in the wings. Adult children who may be very stunned because their parents are dismantling a child home, an image of that adult person's history and childhood. They may be very angry. They may start to be seeing their inheritances cut in half and used to support 2 households instead of 1. Greed certainly comes to the surface a little more, and usually adult children take sides, or this has been my experience, take sides in divorces to a much greater extent than their younger counterparts. One thing I'm wanting to let you know is that we all think about ways to find income for older clients. What about the responsibility and the duty and the statutory duty of children to support their parents? We have in our family code the duty of spouses to support each other, the duty of parents to support children. Well, let me tell you that 30 states, not Texas, but 30 states have filial responsibility duties. 15 of those states make it a criminal offense if the child is not supporting an indigent parent. Most of the cases involve, or most of the statutes involve, tests of indigency. Now, what is the significance of this? Well, as the boomers go through the society, as we start drawing on and government benefits of Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security become reduced because of the demand, the government folks are looking for ways to find responsibility, financial responsibility. And in the Medicaid Act Medicare Act that went into effect, I think, in February, and Holly can give us more info on that, there's certainly some changes in that show the belt tightening. And the belt tightening in other states besides Texas involve what is called the filial responsibility.